October 5th, 2025, 84 degrees at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow, it's quite a day, but we got a nice breeze. Well, we're here at Bluebill Pond, where we did another entry as part of a continuous cover irregular shelterwood, mixed species, which means compositional diversity, a ton of structural diversity, which is vertical shape, structure diversity. This particular area in which I'm standing turned into a heavily used skid trail, and even though we were using a cable skidder, a small cable skidder, it got open, more open than I would have liked, and was not happy about it with myself. It was my own decision. It got away from me. But in any case, we've recovered beautifully from it because we planted white pine in here to supplement and enrich the natural regeneration. So just starting from the bottom of this draw, we've got that beautiful bluebill pond with predominantly red pine right here, but in most areas white pine and a mix of red pine and spruce, bigger timber, mature timber. I'm not going to call it old growth because it's not even 150 years old. Some of it is, but for the most part, it's 100, 125 years old. So it's not old growth, but it's bigger. Anyway, we just got done BudCapping. When I say we, I've got my trusted sidekicks, Ivor the timber dog and Thor the dog of thunder with me. And we just finished BudCapping a couple hundred trees that we planted, and I only BudCapped the planted trees because that's all the time I had this afternoon, and I just wanted to do a mental tally and an assessment of our success rate. I'm going to report that this is the most successful enrichment planting that I've ever been a part of in 40 years that I've been involved in this. More like 50 years, I guess, but as far as planting of white pine, it's been 40 years. I know where every tree was planted because I planted these myself personally, and it was only 2 years ago. And in fact, it was only a year and a half ago. They were planted in May of 2024 after harvesting in the winter of 2023. We BudCapped these last October, which was 2024, and here now on the 5th of October in 2025. And it's just amazing, the success rate, the survival rate of this particular batch of trees. The weather has been perfect, apparently. The growth rate is amazing. And even in this difficult herbaceous response that we got here, which is competition to the white pine, we still have a high survival rate, and we did not use a drop of herbicide. I hate herbicide, and I won't use it. All right, so we're going to walk our way up this draw from the bottom, and I'll just give you a visual on how this went. It's not easy to find the white pine in this herbaceous competition, but since I planted it and I know my own planting pattern, I essentially can walk an area and guess where I probably would have planted a tree, and I bet I did not miss any more than 1% in what I just did here. In fact, I may have gotten them all. Look at that growth. It's just tremendous. Look, that was good stock that we used when we planted, and it pays to use good stock. I believe mostly in natural regeneration, no planting, leaving lots of seed trees, pine, oak, maple, birch, and letting the forest reassemble itself in a continuous cover shelterwood. But there are times when we just have a good sense that we need to enrichment plant or supplemental planting, and that's what we did here. Excellent growth. Yeah, so here's that skid trail that just got a little bit long, a little bit wide, and a little bit too heavily used. And we turned it to our advantage. It's a lot of work, but well worth it. All right, enjoy. Over and out.